Yeah, I think this is so fascinating. I read your memo, Matt. It's really, I think, hitting the moment in some ways that people haven't so far, because I think every time I've come on this show, I've talked about when I was on the campaign trail, and I feel like Democrats still have not found the nut or cracked the nut rather of how they lost so badly, because some Democrats would say we did nothing wrong. Maybe we could have had a better candidate or switched our candidate out sooner. And then other people think there should be an overhaul of policy. But I do think, it goes back to words do matter, and the way you talk to voters matters. And there were so many people that I spoke with who were on the fence, who were just frustrated with what has become a MAGA term, that common sense felt like it had been lost in the Democratic Party. And a lot of these people were Democrats who were saying, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I never thought I would ever do this before, but my party has lost me. And because of these things, of birthing person trying to be so politically correct with such a small percentage of the population, I think the question I have really is, what is the acceptance level of people willing to do this? Because you think about Donald Trump, he speaks, a lot of people like, because he speaks like a lot of his voters, a lot of his base. He gets criticized for that. What is the acceptance for Democrats to say, yeah, we do need to adjust this? And are they accepting of what you found?
Yeah, it's a good question. The overwhelming response that we've gotten directly to us, not the kind of online social media, Red Rose 1452, has been positive, and that includes from a lot of members of Congress, senior staff there, and a lot of pollsters and other consultants who work in Democratic politics. They all understand that this stuff's incredibly toxic, and they've seen there's a guy named Steve Shale, Mark, you probably know him, who tweeted that he's actually seen people in focus groups say, like, Democrats use words like, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about, or it sounds super weird. And I think your point is exactly right, Lindsay, which is, you know, Democrats like to say, oh, look at Trump, he's incoherent and he talks like a fourth grader. But actually, Trump is one of the great communicators in American politics. I don't like anything the guy says, not a thing, but he says it incredibly well. And the repetition that he uses in his language, all of that's very effective. So we have a lot to learn from Trump. We're not going to be able to ape him effectively, and we shouldn't try, but we can learn not to be very off-putting with the kind of very elitist things that we say.